Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Blue Ice Talks. I'm Blue, and I like to talk about figure skating. Last week I quoted this tweet on Twitter, basically saying that I would love to write an essay on how the overscoring of Russian female skaters led to Rika Kihira's career trajectory, and although this is not a polished essay, this is like a video essay covering that topic. This is not meant to be a Rika Kihira biography, but it's more a look into what happened in her career and who is to blame to some extent. So let's first cover who is Rika Kihira, who is the star of today's video. And Rika Kihira is a Japanese figure skater who was born on the 21st of July 2002 in Nishinomiya in Japan. Rika began learning to skate in 2007, and she moved to coach Mie Hamada, who noticed that when Rika joined her, she had high potential and her good upper body strength from gymnastics and speedrunning, and she thought that Rika could master a triple axel from when she first started training her. Looking at this overview of Rika's career from her ISU bio, we can see that she's ranged from 11th place in the juniors all the way up to first place in the seniors, including winning championships like the Four Continents Championship twice in a row. And then of course she disappeared and was 11th at seniors, and we didn't see her for ages. And all of this is due to injury, and I want to discuss the reasons behind these injuries. The question we're answering today is, how did a skater with so much potential shine so brightly for a short period and then fizzle out? As an example of Rika's skating prowess, I've got her short program from the Japanese National Championships in 2017 on the screen. Rika was 15 years old when she performed this, and she finished in third place overall behind Satoko Miyahara and Kaori Sakamoto, two skaters who went on to compete at the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics that season. I apologise for the quality, I know it isn't the best. However, you can still clearly see that Rika has a very good jump technique with minimal pre-rotation and good clear edges on both her triple flip and her triple Lutz jumps, something not usually seen. Rika also has a triple axel jump, something that helped her jump, no pun intended, from 11th place in juniors to first place in national juniors and third place in seniors in a season. Although still quite young and developing, Rika already has good foundational skills, especially in her skating skills, which can compare to the seniors. Her spins are also nice, and I really like how she starts the program off with a spin rather than the classical start of a jump. You can also see that Rika has really good height and distance in her jumps, covering huge areas of the ice when she is not a tall skater. Again, although Rika is only a junior here, you can clearly see that she is shining with some of her qualities, like in the step sequence she's really performing, and she has really lovely jumps. At this point in time, the skater that you can most directly compare Rika with is Alyona Kostelnaya from Russia, as she also finished in third place at their nationals just before the Winter Olympics, and was a junior who couldn't go to the Olympics. In Rika's case, there were 2 spots for Japan anyway, so it would have gone to Satoko Miyahara and Kaori Sakamoto. But in Alyona's case, there were 3 spots for Russia, and these were taken by Alina Zagitova, Maria Sotskova, and Evgenia Medvedeva, who missed the national championships before the Winter Olympics due to her foot injury. I will link the full program down below so you can watch it with sound and also Japanese commentary, and you can see all of the slow motions at the end that go over all of her technique and everything. In this season overall, Rika finished in second at her first Junior Grand Prix event, and at her second she finished in third, behind Sofia Samodurova and Alyona Kostelnaya. Through a tiebreaker, she qualified for the Grand Prix final, and she became the first ever woman to land a triple axel triple jump combination in international competition, and she was also the only non-Russian competitor, and she finished in 4th place after popping an axel and under-rotating on another jump. Rika went on to compete at the Junior World Championships this season, where she placed in 8th. So how did a skater with so much promise and so much talent suddenly drop off? Well, here are the two main players, Mie Hamada, Rika Kihira's coach, and Eteri Tutberidze, the coach of the top women in the world at the time. I think that both these coaches have their own role to play in what happened to Rika. During the Sochi Olympics, Eteri Tutberidze kind of asserted herself as an amazing coach, especially after her student Yulia Lipnitskaya lit up the world with her incredible free skate to Schindler's List during the team event, helping to secure the gold for Team Russia. Even though Yulia didn't do well in the individual event, Eteri had still cemented herself as a coach of these amazing young women, especially when she also had phenoms like Evgenia Medvedeva ready and waiting in the wings to take over. When Evgenia became a senior, she did her jumping passes with rippons and tanos, so 1 arm up and 2 arms up, and this led to high grades of execution despite her technique lacking. Her jumps were often laboured, her lutz was often unclear or on an inside edge, and judges frequently overlooked any rotational issues in favour of giving her high grades of execution and good scores. Evgenia consistently did triple-triple combinations, which raised her component score as well due to her consistency, leading to overscoring on overscoring on overscoring. With skaters like Yulia and Evgenia as her sort of prototypes, Eteri developed the training program that would lead to skaters like Alina Zagitova doing her fully backloaded program, Elena Kostonaya learning her triple axel, and of course Alexandra Trusova and Anna Shabakova doing quadruple jumps. The problem here was that all of these girls mentioned had issues with their techniques. Zagitova suffered from the same issues as Medvedeva, although she did have a better lutz edge, but she also pre-rotated her jumps and often muscled her way through them. Alexandra Trusova and Anna Shabakova both cheated their quadruple jumps, especially their quadruple lutz and flip jumps, where they pre-rotated in almost a full rotation before taking off. Aliona Kostonaya definitely had the best technique of the skaters I've mentioned so far, but she had flat edges on her flip and lutz and rotated a little bit more than she should have done on the takeoffs. This is not intended to be a criticism of these skaters. This is a criticism of the coach who taught them poor technique. And this is especially a criticism of the governing body that scored jumps with poor technique so highly. Even with glaringly obvious mistakes, the ISU were willing to overlook them and score Eteri Tutberidze skaters highly, and this is where the term Eteri bonus came from. So how does this relate to Rika Kihira? Well, Rika wasn't age eligible for seniors in the 2017-18 season, but she could turn senior in the 2018-19 season before 3A, Elena Kostonaya, Alexandra Trusova, and Anna Shabakova. As Rika had a triple axel jump, when she landed it cleanly at the Grand Prix final twice, she won the event. With a significant senior win under her belt, fans hoped that this would raise Rika's component scores to where they should be, matching those of Elina Zagitova, who many felt was overscored due to her lack of skating skills when compared to Rika. Rika had better edges, better control of the blade, and fewer crossovers compared to Elina Zagitova. However, Elina got higher component scores, and Rika had the higher technical scores. Rika's success, however, was almost entirely dependent on her triple axels. As such, when Rika had issues on her triple axels, like at the 2019 World Championships, the judges reverted back to their overscoring of Elina Zagitova, an Eteri Tutberidze skater, along with Elizaveta Tursunbayeva, another Eteri Tutberidze student, and Evgenia Medvedeva, a former Eteri Tutberidze student. The judges chose to overlook the technical issues that these skaters had in terms of their jump technique takeoff and instead looked at, and I'm doing air quotes here, clean landings. Again, I'd like to make it clear I am not criticising any of the skaters, I am criticising the ISU and Eteri. It's also worth noting that if Evgenia Medvedeva's Lutz edge had been called correctly, Rika Kihira would have won the bronze medal here. No doubt feeling the pressure from the juniors coming up, Rika, after the World Championships, said that she wanted to land a quadruple jump, a quadruple salcho. Here is where we see a skater with good fundamentals not being able to measure up due to the ISU rewarding jumping passes and consistency over what is performed on the ice that day. Rika lost 2019 Skate Canada to Alexandra Trusova, who had quadruple jumps but not much else in between, and she lost the 2019 NHK Trophy to Elena Kostanaya, who performed very similar technical content to her with lesser technique and poorer skating skills. During COVID, Rika decided that it was time to work on her quadruple jump. Her initial plan was to move to Toronto's Cricket Curling and Skating Club and work with Brian Orser and Tracy Wilson, as they had taught Yuzuru Hanyu how to do a quadruple salcho. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this was not possible for Rika, and she instead worked in Switzerland with Stefan Lambiel, who was coaching Shoma Uno. Problems arose here as Stefan Lambiel gave her the same training regime as Shoma Uno, a 23-year-old man versus an 18-year-old woman. One of the articles I've highlighted here says that Rika retained her own national crown, landing a quadruple salcho jump in the free skate that had Beijing 2022 implications written all over it. Unfortunately, you and I know exactly what happened. Unfortunately for Rika Kihira, she became just like Evgenia Medvedeva on the Eteri Tutberidze factory line, only Rika was on the Hamada factory line instead. Just like Medvedeva in the 2017-18 season, Rika got injured. While Evgenia's injury still allowed her to compete at the Olympics and win a silver medal, Rika's injury took her out of the Beijing Winter Olympics entirely. Rika got an ankle injury that meant she wasn't able to compete in Skate Canada, the NHK Trophy, or the National Championships. If Rika had won the bronze medal at the 2019 Worlds, if that Lutz had been called correctly, she would not have needed to compete at the National Championships to potentially go to the Olympics. The overscoring of the Russian figure skaters led to Rika Kihira practicing a jumping pass she didn't need to do to win if she had been scored correctly. We saw that Aliona Kostanaya managed to beat Trusova and Shabakova with only triple axels, and as Rika had better technique on her flip and Lutz, and also better skating skills, it makes no sense that she should not have been able to win as well. Instead, Rika was essentially told by the judges that she needed to get a quadruple jump or she was out of the running, when really it was training that quadruple jump in order to keep up with the Eteri Tutberidze factory line that took her out of the running. But it doesn't matter to Mie Hamada because she has her new shining star in Mie Hamada, who's doing quadruple jumps and triple axels in juniors, following Rika Kihira doing triple axels in juniors. The real sting in the tail for this is that Kaori Sakamoto won the bronze medal at the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics with a double axel and no Ultra C elements, just pure commitment and incredible skating skills. And the struggle for Rika just continues as that stress fracture keeps on plaguing her. Even this season, she has had to withdraw from the Chubu Regionals, which has ended her campaign for the Milan Cortina 2026 Olympics. Rika being unable to compete at nationals for the Olympics again is almost reminiscent of Aliona Kostanaya being unable to compete at nationals before the 2022 Winter Olympics. The cycle keeps continuing. I found this article from 2020 during my research, and I think it's honestly worth a read. It goes into the cycle that I've talked about in videos before and in this video. I think the quote that applies to Rika Kihira the most is where Corpy says, "I know many athletes who are emotionally and physically broken because the system doesn't care how much goes to waste as long as there are a few who make it. But what's worrying is that those who make it are only there for a few years and then they're broken too. They're too old or can't sustain their careers." This absolutely applies to Rika Kihira, who shone for a season, less than a season, and then struggled. When we compare her to her compatriot, Kaori Sakamoto, who's had rises and falls in her careers for years, but has had a really good soar towards the end. To quote Corpy from this article again, "I don't think Eteri's child factory is the biggest problem in skating. The problem is the sick culture that's been created. Eteri's factory is a symptom of this inhumane direction and culture our sport is taking. She is not the cause. There are many other coaches who work in a similar manner to her and many federations that support this kind of coaching. We can absolutely see this in Mie Hamada and the tragedy of Rika Kihira." Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and found it informative. If there's a video topic you'd like me to cover, please do let me know either in the comments or on social media. My card with my links is in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!